Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for a future state Fool's Gold review, and this time we are going to be reviewing, or I'm going to be reviewing Harley Quinn issue 2 and Swamp Thing issue 2. As you can see over here, this is how I do my rating system. I of course rate all those things and how much I think they're worth. So let's see, how did Fool's Gold go around for this particular week of comics? So, time to start off with Harley Quinn, then after that we move on to Swamp Thing. Now, the price of this one in Australian dollars is $7.15, and I will be covering how much I think the cover, art and story are worth. And that applies to all in this area of Fool's Gold. Let's get started. So, starting off with the cover, did the cover really bring across what was actually happening in the story? I'm sad to say, it really didn't. Yeah, it's a nice looking cover, but in this case, the cover really failed the story. And for a future state title, you think that they would put in the effort to at least bring in something that really works within the story. So this is where I gave the cover a 4 out of 10. To which I believe the cover was worth about 90 cents Australian. Let's turn to the internal art. Alright, this is the art at the beginning. I'll show you some at the middle. One thing I will point out is that I did actually enjoy the internal art, and this internal art feels like it would really work, say, for an animated series. And I'll show you the last bit before I give you how I rated it out of 10 and how much I believe it was worth. And this is some art towards the end of the book. Alright, for the internal art, I gave it 7 out of 10, to which I believe it was worth at least $1.50 Australian dollars. Now, what about the story? Now, of course, this story follows up from the last issue. But when we begin the story, of course, we do get our cast of characters, Black Mask, hearing of Professor Pig's name, of course, Harley Quinn, because it's about Harley Quinn. Of course, Scarecrow, and of course, Sentry. These do make their appearances, and you do get to see them within the art. One thing that I found this story lacked was depth in regards to location. Where the fuck was the location at the beginning of the story? It would have been nice to know that for me, the reader. Because the only location that we got in the story was just before the end, which is around Gotham Docks. This lost points dramatically out of 10, to which the story gained 3 points out of 10, to which I believe the story was worth 70 Australian cents, giving a total of $3.10 overall. You ain't making up that $7.15 which I bloody paid for it. You lost money. Oh my goodness. Well, now it's time to move on to Swamp Thing. As we move on to Swamp Thing, I really did enjoy the cover, and this cover, in a way, really worked along with the story, including the art. I like the perspective of what the artist has done here. Basically putting Swamp Thing, in a way, it looks like he's carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. But in the background, it also looks like the sun there. And it's really nice as how that is brought across. And underneath him, you've got human skulls. I enjoyed that, to which I gave the cover art 7 out of 10, to which I believe it was worth $1.50 Australian. Let's go into the internal art. Now, this is some art around the beginning. I'll now move to art towards the middle. Alright, this is some of the art towards the middle. And finally, time to go to art towards the end. Alright, as we move to the art towards the end, as you look to that left page right there, this is actually something I've really been enjoying within the art. It's like the artist here is actually giving us the anatomy of the creations of Swamp Thing and like Swamp Thing's people. I really enjoyed that throughout the story, and I also enjoyed it in the last issue, to which I gave this art rating 6 out of 10. To which I believe it was worth $1.25. Now, time to move on to the story. As we move on to the story, of course, the key cast character was the character of Swamp Thing. One of the locations was actually a location that we went to in the last issue, and I really enjoyed that the story creator brought this back into this issue. But this time we're back in the area of Eureka at Nunavut, but we're also I think it said it was about 10,000 miles. Well, I could be incorrect on that, or 10,000 kilometers away from that area. And it was really nice to see how that was used in the story. We got the visitation of the characters that were in the past issue, in this issue, and seeing Swamp Thing really going out of his way to sacrifice to see the human race survive more than the people that represent the green. That was amazing. That really stood out in the story, and I really enjoyed that. To which I gave the story 6 out of 10, and it deserves that 6 out of 10. To which I believe the story was worth $1.25, giving an overall total of $4.50. So in this instance, it's made a little over half back in its actual story. Big thanks to the writers who worked on these. I really enjoyed the art. Until then, let's keep it colourful. Please don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And if you've now reached the end of this video, you are awesome.